Righto guys, back for a quick little video. This one is going to be like a DIY little job you can do on your van that you're going to thank me for later, because it is super easy, it's cheap as. If you're like me, you can do it with stuff you've already got, and it proves a really good purpose. Alright, so my barbecue lives in here. When I pull it out, I don't really have anywhere to put stuff. So I'm coming out of the van and I'm putting steaks on. I've got tongs and a plate of this and a plate of that, and I'm looking around trying to find somewhere to put it. Anyway, watch this. It's only half done because I want to show you how to do the other half, but your own little DIY table out of your drop down hatch in your tunnel boot. How good's that? So what you need is, I'll show you, it's so easy. Some 100-pound coated wire fishing line, like nylon coated, a little packet of crimps, and a pair of pliers and side cutters. That's it. Now, I've always got this stuff in my tackle box, because if you're fishing for mackies or anything with sharp chompers, you're going to run a bit of wire trace on your lures or your leaders. But I've already got that. But I reckon, at a guess, that might be 15 bucks worth of stuff from the tackle store. So we use that, and then what I do to connect these ends, I've put a screw in one end and I've put a pop rivet in the other. So you need a pop rivet gun, a drill, a screw and a pop rivet, and away you go. You can make your own little drop down table just like this one. The good thing is I use a pop rivet on this end, because when you push it back up you still want this seal to work, so you don't want a dirty screw hanging out. Alright, bang, look at that. Alright, I'll show you how to do the other side, and then it's just rinse and repeat to make two of them. And well, it's a 100-pound fishing line. I'm not going to test it by sitting on it or something silly, but it is going to hold plates of food and stuff like that. No dramas. So anyway, and you can still reach in there. See that? You can still reach in, grab stuff out of your tunnel boot, all that. Normally this just swings down and out of the way. For me, this is going to be bloody good. Alright guys, how are you? Hey, just a quick one before I kick off into this next vid. A reminder that the 200 series, this is the last week, mate. So if you're keen on it and you want to win this car, jump down here. There'll be a QR code you can go and enter. Let's get into the next vid. All right, let's start with the wire and the crimp. All right, tiny little crimp, little bag of wire here. Unroll what we need. There's always plenty of it, and it's not that dear, so it doesn't matter if you start out a bit longer. So I'll just make one. Whoa, try not to let them unravel, because look at that. Anyway, a pair of side cutters. Snip that off. I'll show you again. Super easy to cut. Side cutters. Snip. Anyway, now that's a mess. Good on you, Justin. I'll clean that up later. And if we find the crimp, which I've just lost too, good DIY this one. Start by holding the crimp, and on one end you feed your wire through, like so. Feed it a fair way down, doesn't matter. Make a nice loop. Push it back through, like that. You can let the tail stick out a bit, and then you slide the crimp up to get the size of the loop you want. See that? Now this is one of the little things that you need to know. The size screw I'm putting in is probably, I don't know what gauge that is, but just a little self tapper, about 20 mil long, 25 mil long, and it just needs to go through the eye of that and be fairly tight, not loose. So when you do it up, it's not gonna come over the head of the screw. See that? It sits on the shank like that, and that way your wire's not going to fall off when you're opening and shutting your door there. Alright, now that's done, grab your pliers. You can use proper crimping pliers, but normal lecky ones like this, just where you normally cut wire with, come down and on the edge of the crimp, just squeeze it. Don't go too hard on it, you don't want to cut through it. And just put a couple of little marks through it like that, little crimps, and that is enough to hold it on, right? So that's one end done. Now what I did on this side, I screwed it on and then just lifted the tray up and down until I found a level spot and marked how long this needed to be before I made the next one. Now that I already know it's level, I can just feed a crimp on the other end and just make it match the other side. So feed the loop back through again, like so. And then I can just put him up here, hold him here, and then go, all right, I need to make him shorter. So we just feed more and more wire through until we get the same size length. So I've got that dialed in, that's the right length. Just make sure your screw fits through the end again. This is the same size as the shank of the pop rivet head anyway, so you know that's going to go through, no worries. And then we can crimp him up and we're ready to screw it on. Done. Side cutters, grab your excess tag and just cut him off. Do the same up this end, keep him nice and neat. Happy days. Let's screw him on. So let's give you a look at where I've screwed these in on either side. So down here, sort of out towards the end of the table, sort of right in the middle of that bit of plastic there, just drill a nice hole through there that fits the eye or the shank of your rivet there. And then it comes up to this side, come back, right back into here near the tunnel boot and punch through. Now there should be, in my van, there's a bit of frame that goes around there. So a nice little drill bit through there, through the next bit of aluminium, just a nice small pilot hole. So you've got something for this screw to go straight into, be nice and secure. Just measure this and then come across and do it on the same height over this side. So then you know that both your little wire cables are going to be the same length from the top here, and your table's going to be level when you lower it down. Same over this side, make sure you measure how far this is from the center line on your table. Do the same over this side, drill the hole in the same spot, so then you're all going to be level. Now that that's drilled in, let's just put our screw through our little eye that we made, and we'll start him in here and gently screw him in. Done. See that? You can spin that around still, but it's never going to come off because the head of the screw is bigger than the eye you made. Alright, let's measure him up down here and pop rivet him in. Get our drill bit to match our rivet head, swap him out. Done. Grab our pop rivet, pop him in there, put him through the other eye at the other end of our little cable, into the hole of the table, and away we go. How good's that? One drop down table finished. Finished, mate. There you go. Look at that. Up she goes. Still closes nice and good. The rivets don't get in the way of the dust seal there. Pop him out, drop him down. There's your table. Now I just need to rip the barbecue out and throw some stuff on it and show you. But yeah, like, it's not going to take your weight. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not invincible. You're not going to be able to sit on that, but it's going to hold a plate full of food, somewhere to put your tools and that while you're cooking the barbie. So I like it. What do you reckon? Hit me up in the comments below if you like that little DIY idea. I've got a few actually in my repertoire that I might start feeding out to you on a few different videos, because they're just little handy little tricks and tips, especially when you get some, like, maybe you got some shit weather on the road and you're hunkering down for a while before you go exploring somewhere good. You can get all these little jobs done, and it keeps you busy. Good to get the kids involved too. Anyway, that is my DIY drop down table on your tunnel boot hatch. Righto, come in the van and I'll continue on with a bit of a maintenance talk. So I did a vid a few weeks ago where I showed you how to service a few parts of your Cruisemaster suspension and have a look over your van. I got a lot of feedback in there and people were asking questions because I said, oh, what do you want to know? Or can I teach you, like, about things that you don't know about your van? I got a really good question saying, can you show us just how to do a simple thing like change a fuse? And like I said, to me, it's second nature and I know how to do it. To a lot of people, they might not even know what to look at. So I'm going to show you how to change a simple 12-volt fuse. Come in here and I've got a little fuse panel just inside here in the Lotus. Anyway, so we'll pop them off. Now these are just your basic automotive fuses. I'll run you through a few more. I've got a whole bag of them here with a couple of random different ones which I'll show you. But this is the one that you're probably going to be most common in your caravan, okay? And in your car too, between this one and a mini fuse. Now, so what happens, how you check a fuse, it's not scary at all. All you have to do is grab it and pull it out. Now you can, if you've got a multimeter and all that, but this is for someone who doesn't know what they're looking for, so they're probably not going to know how to use a multimeter anyway. you can use a multimeter and check either side of the fuse for continuity and voltage and stuff. But what you're going to do, if something's not working, like your light stops working or your fridge stops working, go to your fuse panel that says that appliance, pull your fuse out, have a look at it. Can you see that? See how inside the fuse there's that little bar of metal, little hoop of metal, and it's all one piece. It's all attached. That means your fuse is good. If that's got a little, normally if they blow, there'll be a little hot char mark in there, and there'll be a gap in the metal where the metal's burnt through. So that's what's saving the rest of your van from smoking and cooking. If you've got a faulty appliance or faulty wiring, that will pop. So that's your little sort of circuit breaker in a way. That's your fuse. Pop him back in. And you know, if they're not labelled and you can't find out what's going on, just pull them all. Pull each fuse, have a look at it. Yep, that one's good. Jam it in. And if you see one that looks a little bit dodgy, grab a new fuse and just chuck it in anyway to test. Make sure that it's not blown. So go through all them and change them. Make sure that what you got to look for, they're normally color coded. So this blue one is a 15 amp fuse, I think. Yeah, they're all color coded and normally stamped on the end as to what sort of amperage they are. Make sure you replace it with the same amperage fuse. Happy days. All right, that's how you check a fuse, basically. And I'll show you through a few of these ones. I always carry this bag of fuses in my car now because my car has all sorts of different fuses between what comes from it factory, what's been done aftermarket, what's been done for the lithium battery setup, and then your Caravan's got all different fuses as well. And usually you'll have a couple of big ones, a couple of small ones, and yeah, you sort of just have to carry a range of them like this. There you go. So you'll see here, see how I've got different colours. You've got a yellow one here, that's a 20 amp fuse. Your green one's a 30, your blue one's a 15, and your red one's a 10, and the brown one's a nice small one. So you carry a range of different fuses, and then these ones here, these are what they call MIDI fuses. So a lot of the time in aftermarket battery systems and your lithium setups and that, they'll run these bigger fuses in little holders, and you just pop the cover off them. There's two nuts that hold them down, and you replace the fuse. So similar with a normal automotive fuse, how you can look through the little sight glass and see if they're blown. These are the same. They've got a clear side, and they've got a little squiggly bit of metal inside. That will blow if that fuse blows. So have a look over your system. Make sure you grab a couple of spare fuses for whatever you've got involved, and then you can just change them out yourself. And if they keep blowing, there's going to be an issue further down the line, either in front or after the appliance or the appliance. So if it keeps blowing fuses, don't just keep putting bigger ones in, hoping it'll work, because you'll probably cook the wiring somewhere else. If it keeps blowing fuses, take it to a proper auto elec and get it fixed. Happy days. And then last one, look at this. A lot of modern cars have these days. These are a mini. Can't even open it. Look at that, little tiny one. They're just a mini version of your standard fuse. But look how small they are. Do the same job, they just fit way more of them into the same little fuse box. That's all. Anyway, hope that helps. That's a basic little fuse chat and how to change one out. And I'm going to squeeze one more little tip into this video, and it is from another lady that I can't remember her name. Sorry, I should have screenshotted these so I could read them. But her locks get sticky in her in the van, in her hatches and stuff. So when she goes to open them, sometimes they're all sort of corroded up, or you know, a bit sticky, and it feels like she's going to bend the keys and that to open them. All right, so I've got a little trick for that, which I'll show you. Righto, let's show you on the front door. It is this. Look at this little fancy bottle. It is, I will put a link in because I can't remember. I got it when I switched some locks out on my Caravan a few years ago. It's called Protector Lock, but I'll find you a link so you can get it. And it's just a nice little lubricating oil, but the good thing is the bottle comes with this little needle, right? It has a tiny little hole in the end of it. So all you have to do is grab it, feed him into your key like so, tip him up a bit, and then just give it a little squeeze, and you'll get a drop out of it. So you'll see that if I squeeze it, see a little drop come out. That's all you need inside. Then grab your key, feed him in and out a few times, give it a couple of swishies, in and out, and that will fix it. That will keep your locks all lubed up, nice and easy to open forevermore. Trust me, that's good gear. Well, that's the end of that little vid, mate. Little DIY job for your barbecue table. How to check and change a fuse. Pretty simple chit chat there. And then this little gear here, man. Keep your locks in nice order. It works, trust me, it works. And yeah, keep your comments, questions, feedback coming for little ideas and hacks, because I got a heap of them. And same this one, and changing a fuse. I did not even think of me to show you guys, but there's crew out there that need to know that stuff, and I'm happy to help. So anyway, while I got you, one more question. See this bed? See, it's an island queen bed. Well, we are planning, we're going to get a different van. We're going to build a new van. We're going bigger, but we're in a bit of a conundrum. Well, Beck is. I'm pretty set I want to stay with the island bed. Beck wants to change the layout and how you push the bed all the way to one side, and then it gives you a bigger walkway and a double sort of clothes wardrobe on one side. But the issue I've got is that whoever ends up sleeping on the wall side has to slide out the bottom of the bed all the time, because he'll slide straight out into a partition that sits here for then your couch, right? I really don't know. I'm quite happy to stick with the island queen bed, but Beck wants the pushed up to the side one. So, well, you know what's going to happen. Beck will get the pushed up to the side one. But let me know your thoughts. If you've had one and you hate it, let me know. Or if you love it, or pros and cons, I'd be interested to hear. And I reckon a lot of other people would too. So, thanks guys. Yeah, and don't forget, last day to win the 200 series today. So get around it. You might be one lucky winner driving around a Chop 200. Hey? Happy days. Righto guys, see you in the next one.